Welcome to Cinema Sketches. I'm Dan Beazle, and I'm an artist with a love for movies. Finding artistic inspiration can be challenging, so why not draw inspiration from those movies? Watch as I create whatever art the movie inspires, and listen as I share my thoughts on the film. Be sure to like, subscribe, and activate those notifications to help the channel.
Blip.
Today, I'm drawing inspiration from the 2017 movie It, and the 2019 sequel It Chapter 2, both directed by Andy Muschietti. Both movies star Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, and the first stars Jaden Martell, Sophia Lillis, Jeremy Ray Taylor, Finn Wolfhard, Jack Dylan Grazer, Wyatt Oleff, and Nicholas Hamilton. It Chapter 2 stars James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, Isaiah Mustafa, Jay Ryan, James Ransone, Teach Grant, Andy Bean, as well as the main cast from the first for some flashbacks. Whew! Now let's dive into it. I decided to work on a chunk of smooth white paper I nabbed from an old sketchbook. I'll also be experimenting with some dirt cheap markers I purchased from Temu. We'll see how that goes. My subject today will be the infamous Pennywise from the movies. Pennywise is the main form that the evil entity, It, takes in the movies. I won't be drawing Pennywise as depicted in this series or even from the 90s TV miniseries. I'm going to go with my own interpretation based from the book, It by Stephen King. Like I mentioned earlier, its main form is that of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. While I think the performance of Bill Skarsgård is good, I'm not a fan of the design. It chooses Pennywise as a form to disarm and distract children, but having Pennywise look like a freaky clown all the time, it does neither. Nobody would be lulled by a frightening clown ever. To be honest, it takes me out of the movies. So I'm just going through, doing my pencil sketch here, and working things out. I mean, is my Pennywise going to be kind of freaky looking? Sure, but not totally. I want there to be that element of just a clown, and something's just a little bit off with him. I mean, I find a clown mostly scary when there's an air of benevolence. And, that is why I decided to go with my own version that I'm beginning to ink right now. This time around, I'm going with some pretty clean lines here, and I want to keep things really tight. One thing I did notice working on this paper, because I've been working on the toned paper so much lately, is just how much this takes the ink way better. So that may be a problem in the future with this, but I'm gonna also play it safe. Now the story of it revolves around a group of kids in the town of Derry, Maine, who form a tight friend group dubbed the Losers Club, while facing local bullies, issues at home, and also an ancient entity that emerges every 27 years to feast on town's inhabitants, usually children, because it prefers children because they're also a little bit easier to scare. I've heard it said that what kind of fears adults have are way different than the fears children have, and it would kind of be hard for an entity to manifest itself as, say, I don't know, financial hardship. Like, oh no, I guess it's a bunch of bills piling up. Whoa. So yeah, I'm starting with these markers. I do notice that it could be part this paper, which I doubt, but these markers tend to just bleed a little bit more, so I have to really be careful going in, and I know for sure that at some point while I'm working that these markers are going to bleed out of the lines just a little bit here and there, but you know what? That's fine. I'm checking these out. They're cheap. And that's the thing, is like, I don't have much of a budget, and I'm sure a lot of folks watching this don't have much of a budget either. So you just kind of roll with what you got. And the fact that I could get over 200 markers for way cheaper than I could, you know, a handful of pricey ones, I'll take it. I can work with this. So I'm just going to build up these tones like I usually do, working light to dark. Just kind of building it up as I go along. Also, just checking these markers out. I don't know what they all do. It's good to have a piece of paper on the side too when you're working, to just kind of scribble out just a line here and there and see how your marker takes. You can see here, sometimes there's a little bit of a jump. That's because I'm testing out markers and whatnot. So some things may not show up as bright as they do normally and will fade back, and maybe you'll see that as we move along. So the first movie follows the adventures of the kids who believe they have defeated Pennywise at the end, but as a caution, they all make an oath to band together if the evil entity returns. Which, seeing how there's two movies, yeah, it does. Now the second movie sees the adult versions of all our members of the Losers Club, well, most of them, return to Derry after it returns. There, they confront their past, learn more about how they've grown, and also have their final battle against it. Now I made the face, it's a little more inspired by Bozo the Clown, which I do know that was one of the inspirations going into like the descriptors of it in the form of Pennywise. Going in, and now that Pennywise is done, I'm adding some more detail. Darkening things up a little bit as well. Sometimes you lose that when you work with the markers. You got to just kind of go in and rework some things. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my concept of Pennywise here. Now I'm going to add in what is known as the deadlights. So if you're not familiar with the deadlights are these just 3 glowing lights. That is actually what the entity is. So in a way, it's kind of very Lovecraftian in the fact that it's this weird, and if you look at these lights, odds are you'll just go insane, or they'll just kill you. So I'm going in, I'm adding different tones here. I want them to just kind of look a bit glowy. And I'm just winging this, by the way, too. I did not really check a lot of this out ahead of time, for better or worse. So as I'm going along, I was thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is I'll just kind of make this background a bit darker and I'll just kind of make it so like the deadlights are actually kind of glowing in a realm of darkness. So we're going to see how all that works out for me. I did find these movies to be pretty well made, and while it takes a lot to scare me because I watch a lot of horror movies, I could definitely see where these would be very terrifying to a lot of people, especially if you have a fear of clowns. So yeah, just going in, I was like, well, let's just make it all gray, because why not? I'll just keep it going. I don't know if this was the best idea. Ah, look. Trusty white colored pencil. Going in, gonna add some highlights here and there. Really kind of work an inner glow to these deadlights a bit. Had some little wisps. Those going off of there. A little sense of motion. Oh yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this definitely needs to be darker. So I'll just go in with this purple. This is a dark purple. Leaving some room for a little bit of glowy nature. Got to remove the tape a bit. Move things around. Kind of lose the string there as I'm working. That's all right. You'll see a little bit what I do with that. I think the acting is well done in these movies too, especially by the kid actors. Kid actors can sometimes come off as pretty cheesy and unbelievable, but all these kids are fantastic. Well, going in with like a bluish gray here to try to smooth out the transition a bit. Doesn't quite work how I want it to. Back to the acting though, I do feel that the adult casting for me, it felt a bit off in just like a few of the roles. One in particular is that of the character Ben. I just don't buy that that's the adult version of him, regardless of the weight loss. Really does not matter. I'm just like, yeah, that doesn't feel like the same character. Although one character I do believe the most is the character of Eddie. I mean, in both of those movies, that character ends up being really great and became my favorite overall. Yeah, so I worked in some blue. Now I'm going in with some black. Don't know if it quite works out the way I wanted it to. Hey, you live and you learn, right? Going in with a blender here and try to blend this a little bit. And the blending does not work how I wanted it to. I'm even winning with my good blender as well. But it still is kind of a neat effect. I wanted these deadlights to pop a little bit more, so it's going to add a little black here. Just because it's a little bit of a finer tip. Should have went all Jack Kirby with it. Going in, there it is. Adding a little bit more. I went in, this is actually like a gel pen. Adding some more stuff to the deadlights. Yeah, fun stuff. Signing it, and I am done. I mean, the effects in this, they can be a little outrageous, but it feels right for an entity that can alter the perception of a person or even people's reality. It constantly assaults the Losers Club with their worst fears, and even some of them feel a bit goofy, but you know what? It's all in good scary fun. Overall, I give it and It Chapter 2, 3 stars. There's plenty to like here, and they get the job done in a satisfying way, even if Pennywise kind of looks lame to me. And for this picture, I would have done some things different as I discussed, but now that it's done, I think maybe if I made it larger, I could add a little more detail, especially in the face. And work on those transitions for the background near the deadlights, but hey, that's art for you. I may choose to revisit this one in the future to make those changes, and I will definitely watch these movies again. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Do all the things that help the show grow and share your thoughts on the movie and what inspires you in the comments. Check out Corrupted Youth Podcast for more movie discussions with my son Brennan and me. You can find episodes here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Links in the show notes. Until next time, art and at hand the world.